And welcome back to Idaho Today. And the first day of fall, well, it was last week, which means that the ghosts and ghouls, they're on their way out for Halloween soon. And last year we had the opportunity to get a personal tour of the Old Idaho Penitentiary to learn about some of the more macabre history of the Gem State. Take a look. Okay, Anthony, so now we are in the maximum security building, and we're looking at some of the arts and crafts, if you will, of some of the prisoners. These are the items that they made. These are the weapons. All right, so kind of walk us through what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, these contraband items, they ran different shops, so they had access to metal and materials, and then just breaking off a piece of their mattress, rubbing that on the ground to turn it into a sharpened shank or shiv.
All right, so they made these out of the items that they had access to, like you'd mentioned, in their cell, and sometimes they had access to shops.
Yes.
So was that a part of like their duties when they were here to fulfill, like keeping up the space?
Exactly, yeah. And they also had automotive repair and plumbing shops, electrical shops. They also started making Idaho's license plates and street signs here at this institution, which they still do at the Idaho Department of Corrections. So you can see probably a piece of aluminum taken from that shop and fastened into that deadly device right there.
I'm like, is that a bike chain?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And Anthony, what would happen if someone was actually found with an item like this?
You would be either sent to solitary confinement or into this building, maximum security. You were in lockdown for 23 hours a day in these cells.
So you were stuck in your cell. You weren't allowed to go out into the yard. You couldn't do physical activities. You couldn't garden.
Yeah, meals by yourself, showering in front of your fellow cells around you, and yeah, it was 23 hours of lockdown.
And Anthony, can you show us what one of those cells might look like if someone was caught with one of these and where they had to stay for those 23 hours?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, all right. And this actually feels a little newer too. So I know previously we were in an area that started in pretty much the beginning of the history of the Old Idaho State Penitentiary. When was this building actually developed?
1954.
If you were caught with one of those or did something else really bad, you would end up in one of these.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to go inside?
Oh, please. Oh my gosh, okay. And so in here for 23 hours by yourself, at least you have a toilet instead of a honeypot.
Right, yeah.
Right?
They did have some more modern amenities in here.
Yep, and you have your sink. From maximum security, then you actually have death row up here upstairs. So tell us the story of this delightful area, if you will.
Yes, so this is where the men who got the ultimate punishment would be housed. Only one man was actually housed in this building and actually executed, and that was Raymond Snowden in 1957. And he brutally murdered a woman in Garden City along Chinnen Boulevard in 1956. So just spent a little under a year at the site. No visitors except for one sibling came, and a chaplain would come and visit with him. But other than that, he was basically alone, and he went through this door across from his cell to receive his ultimate punishment, be hanged.
Okay, so he was housed only feet away from his demise, if you will. How long was he in this cell for? How long did he live here just waiting for that date? Just
under a year. So he spent some time in the county jail and then about 9 months here in this cell.
9 months staring at that door. Wow. Okay, and then you had said he's the only person, though, who was actually executed in this building, but there were other executions that happened here at the pen.
Yeah, 9 others, and they occurred out in the prison yard.
Out in the prison yard?
Yeah, they would actually construct the gallows prior to the execution. 6 of them were in the Rose Garden. Yeah.
So what's beautiful and delightful today actually has some pretty dark roots, if you will.
It does, absolutely.
Wow.